All right, this is what's happening. I'm here tonight with Shawn Deepwater Dore. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you doing?
Good, good. So yeah, where did the Shawn Deepwater Dore come from?
Actually, years ago, I was competing at the International Blues Challenge down in Memphis, Tennessee. And one of the guys down there, one of the other competitors, was named Brandon Yukon Slim Isaac. And I just got to be buddies with him while we were down there. And it was just one of those, like, you need a new name. You need a new name type thing. So it just, he was the one that thought of it, and it's has stuck ever since.
Yeah, it's like a stage persona almost, right? Like when you walk on the stage, you're Deepwater.
Yeah.
Plug in, right? Yeah, I know, that's so cool, man. That's awesome. So, like, where did you learn this style of music from? Like, when did you get into this style of music, and what influenced you into it?
Maybe about 10 years ago, I started, I was always into blues and blues rock and like Jimi Hendrix and Stevie Ray Vaughan. And maybe about 10 years ago, I started listening a little bit more to the guys that they learned from and just kept going back in history. And just fell in love with just the true old acoustic, you know, somebody sitting in a room like this and stomping on a floor and playing with a slide guitar and Muddy Waters and Howlin' Wolf and Robert Johnson. And so I started getting a little bit into that, and I was lucky enough to be able to go down to Memphis, Tennessee a couple of times and perform. And it was just, every time I go down there, it's eye-opening, and I learn enough for a lifetime to come back, and then I just sit in my room for hours and try and put together everything that I learned down there. So it's just it's a lot of fun, and it's in my blood, I believe. And it's like
do your parents play, or?
Yeah, my dad plays blues. He's been blues guitar player all his life.
So you
as well.
grew up around that sound, that feel.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
he always had the old record spinning probably too, right?
Yeah, and he was the one actually when I was 4 or 5 years old. I got a Fender Strat and a basket of cassette tapes that were just full of like Albert Collins and B.B. King and Stevie Ray Vaughan, and then I got a VHS of Tony D, how to play blues guitar, and that was the start of everything. So it was basically my father who started me off to a lifetime of agony.
Yes. Yes.
I can't contain whatever's burning inside. I gotta find a way to figure it out. I found the answers and there ain't no doubt. You got what I'm looking for, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Keep coming on back for more, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Got what I'm looking for.
You've been down to Memphis a couple times. Like who's took? Is it you're going down as a family, or you're going down there as a like? What got you into traveling that far? Because I know like a lot of us local musicians, I think that's the next step. What we need to do is spend a weekend or a week and go somewhere and just dip our toes into that kind of stuff. So what gave you the nerve to do this kind of stuff?
It was a competition, local competition called the International Blues Challenge. And I was asked to be a competitor type thing because it was the same ideas, the genre of music that I was performing, and I competed for this region, which was it was a region in between Toronto and Ottawa. So I'm not sure how big it goes, but I was lucky enough to win this region, and they sent me down, and it's basically. The International Blues Challenge is basically like regions from all over the world. So I was competing against bands and solo acts from Spain, and
so you're like represent our region.
Yeah, basically.
That's really cool.
So our region was the Loyal Blues Fellowship.
Yeah.
So and it's all these different blues fellowships from around the world. They get together and they put forth their best act. And
wow.
It's about a week long. Huge show right on Beale Street in Memphis. And
wow, what an honor, eh?
Yeah, it was an honor and very humbling every time I go down there.
Yes.
And so it's and those were both chances I got to go play on Beale Street were I can't remember exactly the year. I think it was 2014 and 15. I went 2 years in a row. The first year I went as a solo competitor, and then the second year I got to go down as with my blues band.
Wow.
Just Shawn Dore Blues Band, and we went down there and had an absolute blast, and come back and just try and take everything from it that we can.
That's so cool. Well, as serious as I'm speaking here, is the Crossroads down there? Have you ever crossed the Crossroads?
It is actually. I did go down to the Crossroads. It's about an hour, maybe a little over an hour's drive from Beale Street area type thing. But
and you did go?
It's down in Clarksdale, Mississippi.
Yeah.
And one of my off days, I took a cab there, so it was a little bit more of an expensive trip than I wanted, but there was no way I was going to be that close to experiencing it.
Exactly.
So I went down there, and it's a little bit more built up than it used to be, like in the movies and everything.
Well, I've watched a documentary, and like they kind of like the Crossroads spot. But there's actually the original Crossroads spot. There's actually train tracks going over it now. I've actually heard in this documentary, and I'm like, well, that's kind of crazy. But there's still like a spot that it's like.
There is a couple of stories down there that are still like the folklore stories.
Yep.
You got to go and the Big Apple Tree over on Jones's farm, and then head west for 30 minutes, and then you'll see a couple of trees, and there's a lot of stories down there like that.
That makes it better.
Oh, yeah, exactly, because nobody knows the truth, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's so cool, man. Like literally, I feel like the type of music and the soul that comes out of you, man. Like you've been touched by something. It's amazing.
Oh well, thank you. Hopefully, it's a good something.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Woke up this morning, I about first light. A girl beside me that I just met last night. Woke up this last night. Beside me that I just met last night. I woke up this morning down the slide. A girl beside me that I just met last night. Beside me there, I just met last night. I just met last
Neat. So let's go over a couple of your instruments here. You got a little slide cigar box here.
This is I don't use this too often, but it's kind of a neat little instrument. Just a 4-string cigar box guitar. It's all homemade. It's
what's the
it's
tuning
a cigar box.
What's the tuning on it? Is it open like G?
It's like the first 4 strings of currently anyway.
Oh, okay.
Like of an open right now the open D tuning. Yeah.
Neat.
But I basically just bounce back and forth between first 4 strings of an open D tuning or first 4 strings of an open G tuning. So it's you're just basically ignoring the bottom 2 strings wherever you're playing.
That's cool. And it's got the pickup in it and the volume knob, and just that way you can just plug it in and you really get the sound out of it.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
It's pretty gnarly sounding.
Who made that? Was that you or?
Yeah, I made that actually. That's probably my 5th or 6th one that I've made now. I've made a few others that were very, very basic, and to the point where I've had one break on stage right in the middle of a song.
That's kind of cool though.
How do you follow that one, right?
Yeah. Smash your other guitar, I guess.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But,
can you give us a little lick on it? Try it. Like we'd love to hear. I'd love to hear everything and see how it rocks.
It
right?
won't sound nearly as electrified as it is intended to.
Oh, of course. But I just still get an idea of it.
The idea of it is like a basic.
That's so cool.
It's kind of low down and dirty.
That's so cool. And then the cool thing about the slide is you have to find your spot, and it's nice you can slide to it, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
It's all it looks fretless, so it looks more impressive. But those are my cheater marks.
That a boy.
They're even glow in the dark nail polish. So.
Cool.
So I don't get lost too often.
That's too cool. And then what do you got down here? Is this a nice dobro?
Kind of. This is
dobro style, kind of.
Kind of. Yeah. This is Republic's version of a National Steel, actually.
Okay.
Republic has a guitar called the Highway 61, I believe it's called, which is like a parlor size with a cutaway steel resonator guitar, and it's a little bit out of my price range. So I got the one that was a little bit more in my price range type thing. So, but this thing sounds and looks the part. It just it's a somewhat smaller company in Texas rather than the National Guitars.
So I see a volume knob on the side then, so it plugs in?
Yeah. I actually originally it didn't come with the pickup here.
Okay, well there's the pickup there. I was wondering because I see something almost like something in the middle of that pot, but it must just
that would be the biscuit there.
Oh,
that
that
actually makes contact with the like the resonator cone in the back, which creates the vibration and everything.
Can you explain this then? Because I love explaining stuff that people like. So this is pretty much almost like a speaker, almost correct?
Basically, yeah. What is underneath this is another. It's kind of like a dog bowl that kind of. So the strings make contact to this wooden biscuit here, which is also making contact to this. It's like a dog bowl almost, which they call it the cone. And it's underneath, and it's kind of everything is shaped and positioned in a way where the vibration of the strings can make their way through and then kind of come out, as, like you said, as a speaker.
Yeah.
And this is like back in the early 1920s, before there was speakers and electrical stuff.
So that's
this is what they were using.
Resonates the sound.
Yeah, and this is what they were using for different clubs and stuff, where the guitar wasn't being heard at the back of the bar or the back of the restaurant or club type thing. So they would get one of these and it would project it a lot further.
That's really cool. So you installed the pickup, or did you get somebody to do that? Like, what do you got for a pickup?
I had somebody install it. This is just a lace sensor, basically a stick-on, like a peel and stick pickup.
Neat.
Specifically for resonator guitars. And then this was years ago. I'm actually currently a guitar tech now, so I would have done this if I had done this recently. But I had this done years ago. I had somebody put the input jack and the volume knob on it as well, because I didn't want to drill into steel.
Sometimes you're afraid to hurt something.
Yeah,
exactly.
It was one of those like, I'll let somebody else deal with that. So
that's cool. Can you give us a little lick on that thing?
Yeah. So this one.
I know you'll probably be playing it for us here in a couple minutes, anyways, but.
It's more brighter sounds, and it's a little louder for me to do stuff.
So, are you using a normal string, or is there a slide string?
These are what I actually use as a slide string. They're kind of like Hawaiian strings.
Okay.
But they're like a slight gauge lighter.
Right.
Hawaiian strings are very, very thick, to the point where I get worried when I tune up to pitch and I start watching the neck do one of these. So I use Ernie Ball Not Even Slinkies, which is just one gauge. So Hawaiian strings are 13s to 56 or 58, I believe.
Yeah.
The Ernie Balls I use are they're 12s to 54, I believe.
Huh, cool.
So it's quite thick and heavy. I don't like a wound G string for when I'm playing slide.
So this doesn't have a wound G string then, because those are the first string to break, right? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Because it's a thinnest wound string, so it always breaks. I mean, always.
Yeah, and this is actually the thickest string. So this is a 24 plain. Okay. So this is the one, when I tune this G string up to pitch, this is the one that makes the neck want to do this type thing. So yeah, it's years of trial and error and trying to figure out what works. And you need a heavy string when you're playing slide, because you want it to really ring. You don't want it to kind of die out and like the rest of them ring, but the top one kind of dies out type thing. You get that a lot of times with lighter strings. But
so what are you tuning that guitar at right now?
This one, I usually tune everything to either open G or open D.
Open D, open G, right?
Yeah, and then if I have to go up from there, I just capo that, because I don't want to tune up too high and then have the tension too high, especially with the cone underneath. You can crush the cone if the tension of the strings are too high on it. So
I know my brother's had to buy a brand new mandolin. He had a really nice Eastman, and he literally broke the neck off because he always plays medium strings. And I'm like, you don't need medium strings on this, because it's so loud already. And he's like, I just like the feel of them. But he's now his new Eastman he just bought. He's like, it's all gonna be light strings on this thing.
Exactly. Yeah. So this thing's starting to get the patina, I guess, going. It's all turning green.
So is it literally all stainless steel then?
They said it was stainless steel, but this is A few years ago, I even took a wire brush to this. This was almost completely brown and green.
Wow.
So it was pretty gross.
The pitting came out on it, eh?
Yeah. So I cleaned it up pretty good, but I don't know. Stainless steel, I don't know if it looks like this.
Yeah, maybe a bit of a coating on it. That's really cool, though.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Thanks, man.
So cool. All right, this little tidbit of what's happening. We're down here downtown Belleville. Crystal, how you doing today?
I'm good, how are you?
Good. So where are we again?
We are in Tyrannosaurus Pets.
Right on. And what's the address down here in Belleville?
292 Front Street.
292 Front Street. That's awesome. So these guys have an amazing store down here. Lots of creepy crawly things, lots of snuggly things, every kind of fish you could think of.
It's true.
And you got a little friend hanging over on your shoulder.
Yeah,
Who's
Mr.
this?
Mango.
Mr. Mango.
He's
Is
the
this
star.
this is your
This
bird?
is my guy. He is my little bird best friend. So.
That's so cool.
Yeah, he's a 7-year-old blue and gold macaw.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a bit sassy though.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And I know not right now because of COVID, but you guys also do like little animal parties and stuff like that, correct?
Absolutely. We focus on education with animals, so we don't just sell them, we educate. So then we also have the little fun version where we go out in the public, community centers, nursing homes, and private homes.
That's really
Yeah,
cool.
as soon as we can, we'll be back at it though.
Good. So what do we got here?
This is a Asian forest scorpion. They're pretty cool.
And what can you tell me about this thing? How
What can
big
I
would
tell
this
you
thing
about
get?
it? This is pretty much full grown right here. The dangerous spot is between my fingers. That's where the venom comes from.
Right.
These guys have a tendency, because they're so big, to try to use their claws as much as they try to sting you.
Oh.
And even if they did sting you, it's no worse than a bee sting.
Wow.
Okay.
So this is something that somebody would use have at home as a pet then?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yep.
Very, very cuddly.
This is Rosie. You see her? So you're gonna have your hands flat.
She's twitchy.
Yeah, she's twitchy. Yeah. She's fine now.
And what is
Hi,
Rosie?
She is a curly hair tarantula. She is venomous, but it's no worse than a bee sting, so it's not that scary.
It's okay. Her life insurance is paid up. I'm good.
I'm just gonna tap her legs to make her walk on me. She doesn't really want to bite or anything. She just wants to be safe.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So how big would Rosie get?
She's full grown. She's about a 4.5-year-old female now.
Wow.
4.5. Wow.
Yeah. She's a little skinny right now, actually. She just finished a molt. So where she actually grows new bones and then crawls out of the old.
Really?
Wow.
That's so cool.
Now, when she molts, like with the little fuzz that she has all over, is that all new too? The hairs?
Even her fangs.
Really? Even the fangs?
If she breaks off a leg, she could potentially regrow a new one.
Really?
Sometimes it takes more than one molt, but yeah,
Wow.
pretty incredible
amazing.
creatures.
That is incredible.
So
Yeah.
then, the neat part is, if she's not in a bad man, let's see if I can get her web to come out.
Neat.
Oh, wow.
Capture that?
Yes.
Yes. And that's just by rubbing it. It stimulates her
Yeah, and
to
that's her little
produce.
spinnerets right there. And she would spin her web.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. You want to see her
I think
fangs?
we need one.
No way.
I can hold her up to
We
see her
have some
fangs.
available up there. There's no babies.
Let me get her pellet palps up. There you go. You see her fangs underneath?
Oh,
Oh wow.
So it would hurt.
Yeah.
Judging by the squinty eyes and
But
the
you
furrowed
won't
brows,
die.
you saw them really clearly.
That's so cool.
They're really good pets though, because really they're something that you can handle when they get to be semi-mature.
Right.
They're not really a dangerous tarantula. They don't want to do any harm. They just want to hang out.
Yeah.
And what would you feed something like that?
About 1 cricket a week.
Wow.
Oh, that's it, eh?
Maybe a hornworm for fun.
Huh.
Now the bigger one that we have on display, which is a 8-inch Lassidor Kluge, it's going to eat a little pinky mouse
Yep.
or an anole or a great big old hornworm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And do they just like attack and do that, or do they like spin it up in a web like a
Nope, they just pounce on it.
neat?
Yep. It's pretty
Whoa.
cool, right?
Kinda.
All right, better stick her back. Yeah.
Well, we really appreciate everything you're doing down here, and you have lots of stuff. Also, if you need T-shirts, I found out about this. She's a jack of all trades, and you also have a little T-shirt business going too, correct?
I do. I work out of my other office, so yeah.
Cool. So if they want that kind of stuff, they can get a hold of you through. So you're also on Facebook, and we can find you there or on the internet.
Absolutely, you can. Just either Google us or look on Facebook, Tyrannosaurus Pets.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, thanks, Crystal. I really
Yeah,
appreciate you
appreciate
having us
it,
down.
wicked ways. Ooh, don't fool around. Well, my wicked ways, babe, gonna run you to the ground. Waves will change the sand, winds will change the sea. Chimes got to understand me, baby, there ain't no changing me. My wicked ways, ooh, don't fool around. My wicked ways, babe, gonna run you to the ground. Sweet and sticky, keeps running by my side. Keep away sweet and tricky, keeps running at my pride. Well, my wicked ways, ooh, don't fool around. Well, my wicked ways, babe, gonna run you to the ground.
Cool, man. So with the box here, I like when I first seen you. We met each other at the Porch Fest in Sterling, Porch Shenanigans. And it was a rainy day. I had this tarp and I had my PA out there. I'm like, oh my god. And then I was so scared, but you brought the thunder, man. You were out there, you were just stomping on this box. I was like, what is going on here?
The louder you stomp, the less you have to play perfect on the guitar.
So you built this obviously, and what's going on here? Can you tell me what's up with this?
Yeah, when I very first started playing the old school, like traditional blues type music, I always, in all the recordings I would hear the foot stomping in the background, and I wanted to mimic that, so I actually started making what I called, well, at the time I made these license plate boxes with little microphones in them, and they served me quite well for a couple of years, but I had to keep getting new license plates because I kept putting my foot through them. Yeah, and to the point where I broke the mic the last time. I think I went through my third license plate and I broke the mic, so I just went, that's it, I'm going to make myself something a little bit better. And this was just the idea. It was like one of those, okay, make something a little bit bigger so I can kind of bassier. At points I can just stand right up on it because normally I sit down and play, or not normally, but normally with this kind of stuff I sit down and play, and so it was just something. It was like a mini stage that was electrified type thing.
Yeah,
and I put a vocal mic in there and wrapped it with as many blankets as I could, to the point where I'm surprised those screws are holding the wood together still.
So you took like a Shure 58 vocal mic, and you just literally kept wrapping with blankets, so that whole entire thing in there is pretty much solid.
Yeah, pretty much. So when I stamp or stomp on it, you don't get the echo or anything, any hollow noise. It's just like a thump.
Yeah.
And then like it still kind of sounds like at normal EQs, it still sounds like somebody knocking on a door. So if I'm running it through a PA or something, I just always
bass it right up
and just completely turn off the mids and the treble, and it gets that real like type sound to it. And
well, like this, like we were saying about this room here, like this is the old speakeasies and shit, and what you used to heard those recordings from, right?
Yeah,
playing
exactly.
And that's why I wanted to bring you to the Tanner Lodge.
Oh yeah, this is
perfect,
amazing.
man. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's so cool. That's really neat. So what do you got up top here?
This is currently my go-to. I got this a few years ago, and it's just been so comfortable, and it's a sound that I absolutely love. This is my Gibson L00 that I can probably see myself being buried with many years from now.
I like it. I like it. So, does it have a pickup in it or no?
Yeah, it's electric acoustic. That was actually the big selling point, because I have a couple acoustics at home, but I always wanted to play them live. None of them were electric, and I could never find a pickup that would match the guitar, and just to have that sound that I was looking for. And I play a lot different. I mean, I play with different strings, electric, really heavy strings. I play slide rather than fingerstyle, so there's a slight different sound I was looking for. And I picked this guitar up and plugged it in, and it was just like, oh wow, there it is type.
Show me yours, I'll show you mine. You'll go to my place, relaxing. I can help you unwind. And then, babe, you show me yours, I'll show you mine. Well, now I promise that I call you, and I'll treat you to dinner and wine. But first, babe, you show me yours, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Well, now, baby, what's your name now? Will you stay tonight? Come with me, babe. You show me yours, I'll show you mine. Show me yours, I'll show you mine.
Where can some people find your music?
The Deepwater Dore stuff currently is all on YouTube. I did an album a few years ago with that, and once I ran out of copies, I basically just put it on YouTube, like free for all type thing.
Good. So you can just type it in there, and you pretty much put all your songs on there, right?
Yeah.
Good. I'm trying to do that with my old rock band right now for Love One. It's funny because I'm like, why is my music, like, we work so hard to do all this music, and it's not even out there, you know what I mean?
That's why I figure it's like, spend a couple of years trying to sell copies of it, and then at that point, try and make another album and, put that one out for free so people can kind of hear it and go, wow, what else is this person, doing?
I'd rather somebody hear it than not hear it.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody's, a guy brought her, like, $5 for a CD, and they're like, oh no, it's okay. I'm like, just take the CD.
Yeah.
Please just listen to it.
Take it, make copies, send it to everybody.
Yeah, put on Napster if that still works. I don't know, man. Just please get my music out there.
Yeah, no, that's the same way.
Yeah.
It's the more people that can hear it, the better.
Exactly.
Type thing.
Exactly. Well, that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to give everybody a platform because I'm finding all these musicians around this area, and if I find something I love, I'm pretty sure it's something's rocking about it because I love music, man, and it's my soul, right? So
yeah,
it's good. So, do you have another band that you play with?
I do. I have actually a few other bands I play with. This whole solo thing that I'm doing, I actually just before the COVID times hit, I was doing a lot of the solo songs that I do, but as a trio and a little bit more electrified. So drummer, bass player, and then basically, the acoustic guitar and the resonator, but plugged in a little bit.
Yeah.
So it sounded more Muddy Waters than Howlin' Wolf or Robert Johnson type thing. I was also playing in a 4-piece blues band, like a blues rock band out of Kingston called Up Jump the Blues, which was a lot of Stevie Ray Vaughan and Johnny Lang and Kenny Wayne Shepherd and like blues rock funk type thing.
Yep.
I play in a 6-piece big blues band with like horns, which is kind of like Albert Collins, B.B. King type big blues band stage type feel. And I also play in a 9, or I guess we're 10-piece now, funk band called Cue the Funk out of Prince Edward County. And other than that, I do a little bit of session work for people here and there. And
that's cool.
It's
well, I seen something on Facebook the other day with that Cue the Funk, and I think I really need to get a hold of you and see if I can get, when things clean up a little bit, we can get more than 11 people in a room, because there's 10 people in the band, so. But you guys are off. Like, I've seen it, and I love that. Like, that's such a show. It's
all about the show.
It's like
people up and dancing, and then just keeping their attention.
Yeah. So, from a young lad, you said you've been really influenced by all this old Muddy Water, Deepwater kind of blues. Who was a big influence to you? And
a lot of influences, actually. My dad was a big influence. Muddy Waters, Albert Collins is a huge influence. Albert King is a huge influence. Buddy Guy, who I was actually lucky enough to play on stage with earlier this year. He's a huge influence of mine.
So Buddy Guy, I seen a little bit of a few pictures of you on stage with Buddy Guy. Do you have a story behind that one? Like how did that happen?
That was quite interesting. I was on my honeymoon of all trips. We got tickets to go see Buddy Guy at his venue in Chicago at Legends, and we met his manager. One thing led to another. We got into a conversation, and then my wife was kind enough to let the manager know that I was a huge Buddy Guy fan and I could play all Buddy Guy stuff. While I was embarrassed and kind of trying to shrink in the corner, the manager looked at me and asked if this was true. When I said yes, he said, somewhat exact words, "Come with me, we're gonna mess up this show." And so I got to go backstage. I got to have a conversation with one of my biggest influences, Buddy Guy himself. Got to have a couple of shots with him of his top shelf private stash. And then just, it was just really humbling to be able to have a conversation with the guy. And then afterwards, I was called up on stage at the very end of his show, where he basically just took his guitar off, handed it to his guitar tech, and started turning around and throwing picks into the audience while his band finished off the rest of the night. And his guitar tech basically took the guitar and then handed it to me, where I got to get up on stage and finish the night with Buddy Guy and his band. And actually, Greg Guy, Buddy Guy's son, he was on stage too. We were cutting heads back and forth. And yeah, it was quite the interesting evening, that's for sure.
Wow.
And it's something I will never forget.
That's right. And that right there just inspires you, and just like what a treat, eh?
Yeah, no kidding.
So thank you to your wife for...
Thank you to my wife for wearing, actually she was wearing a polka dot dress at that point too, so I think that's what caught the manager's attention.
Good.
Because Buddy Guy is huge into polka dots, so it was just one of those, hey, I like your dress, and then one thing led to another. So yes, thank you, Jess, for for wearing that dress and starting
awesome.
the conversation.
Me and my friend Andrew were really big on Pokey Lafarge, and we went to the Horseshoe Tavern, and we got to see him. We were with my wife and with Andrew's wife, and at the end of the night, we ran out back and we got to meet the whole band, and we're like, where's Pokey? And you're like, oh, he's inside. So my wife went in, and they wouldn't let us in. Then she's like, Pokey's like, let her through. So she went in and was like, Pokey, you got to meet my husband. And then we got to go in and got to meet him, and I was like, thank God for our wives, right?
Yeah, no kidding.
Good looking girl, flashy dress. Let her through.
Let her through. You can just stay out there.
No, he's come with me. It's perfect. That's cool, man. All right, guys, there it is, episode 9 of What's Happening. I want to thank Shawn Deepwater Dore for coming out. That was so cool. And I want to thank Ashley and Ace Cooney for letting us use the Tanner Lodge. Soon I'll do a little business break on them for the Tanner Lodge. You guys can rent that place out. It's so cool. Next, I want to thank Hot Sauce Co. We're cooking right now. Let's see what we can get out here. What do we got? What do we got? We got some hot sauce and then we got some hot sauce. We use this stuff for everything. You know, Frank's Red Hot, they think they got something, but no. This Hot Sauce Co. right here is where it's at. So check them out. I'll also be doing a business break on him with my boy Jesse, and you're gonna be able to find out where you can purchase that stuff. I'm pretty sure mail it up if you really want it that bad. It's amazing. Next, I want to thank Tyrannosaurus Pets downtown Belleville. So cool to see the creepy crawly stuff and get some information on that kind of animal because a lot of people are afraid of them. So they do classes on like phobias and stuff like that, which is pretty cool to get over it. I didn't touch it, but my wife Anna did because she likes that stuff. What's going on next? I think I might be doing a variety show with some performers from my episodes here. I might get a really cool theater. It's kind of in the month right now. You'll be able to see 4 to 5 acts each time. So make sure you come support us because all the money's gonna be going straight to these artists and all the artists and to the local theaters and venues that we're gonna be doing all these shows at. So that's gonna be a really cool thing. So if you want to come out and see some live music, watch out for all this kind of stuff because it's gonna be happening. Next thing, same thing, like I'm saying, if you want to see some local artists, make sure you shop local because it's gonna be Christmas time. There's lots of cool market stuff going on out there. Go get some of that cool stuff. I've seen it all over Facebook. So I keep sharing all this stuff. Share it with your friends and keep liking all that stuff. Make sure you go subscribe to my video, All of You Presents. That way we can keep you up to date on this stuff. I'm gonna keep going with this stuff. Like I said, it's episode 9. I'm gonna do it every other week now instead of every week because that way I don't have to work so hard. I want this to be fun, right? I do this all out of my own pocket, all in my own time. I do it with my family and my kids, and I'm having a great time doing it. So I'm gonna keep doing it. Next, I'm gonna go and meet a younger lad named Alex, and he's a crazy, amazing, accomplished piano player. So let's keep the music genres going. And after that, we're probably gonna go see one of my friends, Hard as Luck, and they got their album release coming out. So we're gonna go check out some rock band, and what else can you ask for? That's what's happening, right? So thanks, guys. Keep going. Subscribe to my channel. Peace and love. See you later.